Welcome to Ask the Authors. I'm Randy Harrington.
And I'm Carmen Valakay.
And it is an exciting topic. We're going to be talking about some radical transformation that is happening in our world that really is going to change everything.
Everything.
Amazing. Now, 1997, Bill Gates writes a book called The Road Ahead. Definitely a nerd fest of a book. But in the book, he says something very profound. He says that there is an inexorable trend, an unstoppable trend, moving businesses from synchronous to asynchronous service modalities. And what he means by that is, in a synchronous business, the customer must align him or herself to the business on the business's terms in order to be served.
Airlines.
Airlines. Typical doctor, right?
Yeah.
It's not when you want to see the doctor,
No.
right? So, and what Bill Gates, though, is saying is that there's an inexorable shift to asynchronous, meaning that the businesses are the ones adapting to the customer's demands. And we're certainly seeing that happening all over the place.
All over.
It was as simple back in the early 90s of when stores went 24 hours a day, when the grocery stores were always open and so forth.
Sure. But, the big surge was online. As business went online, boom.
Right.
We saw it. So a lot of times we think about technology businesses as the example.
Exactly. Mass customization. I can get it the way I want it, when I want it, and so forth.
Amazon.
I love Amazon.
I know.
Amazon's awesome. Okay, even though they're destroying lots of retailers out there, but they really are, from a customer's point of view, it's just an amazing experience. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
No.
We're here to talk about the fact that one of the organizations that frankly got their organizational structure back in like the 1600s, we're talking about the university environment.
The university.
Boy, they wear those long robes and the funny hats for a reason. They are old school thinkers, the university administration.
They work in places made with stone.
The stone, and it always says, founded in 17, blah, blah, blah. And what that means is if you want to bring change into a university environment, as both of us have tried to do over the years, it is like
it's something everyone should do at least once in their lives.
You just run headlong into a brick wall,
Yes. Yes.
They are resistant to change, and yet you have a story for us about big change.
Yeah, big change is happening in the university system. In just the last 10 months or so, there has been a surge of online demand for education. We've been talking about online education for a long time. This isn't new. This is, 10 years, 15 years now. People have been talking about this. But for the first time, universities are starting to see more people signing up for online classes than the brick and mortar classes, even if they're living in the dorms on the university site.
So I'm on the University of Oregon campus, and I could walk across.
Classes across the street.
But I'm signing up for an online class.
That's right. And the reason why is because you want to command your own time. And you might want to have a job. You might want to volunteer. You may have some important social engagements that you need to attend.
I might want to take more classes than would fit in a schedule.
Absolutely.
Because I'm a type A kind of crazy person.
There you go.
But the bottom line is people are finding not only that they want to take those classes, but that those classes are delivering quality.
Absolutely. And expanding opportunity. So
that's another great point, because you were talking to me earlier about like Stanford.
Yes, Stanford is really a pioneer in throwing spaghetti at the wall, if you will, in this arena. They very recently offered, a couple of professors out of Stanford offered a online course in computer technology and opened it up for free. Over 120,000 people signed up for this course.
Gosh.
I know, right? It's just crazy.
Wow.
It ended up only about 26,000 graduated.
Wow.
But, finished the course.
Right.
And then of that group, they took the top 1,000 and they actually asked for their resumes and they submitted them to various places in Silicon Valley, and Google actually just hired one of them.
Wow.
And the person that Google hired actually believes it was because of their completion of this course.
Wow.
And the
Okay.
recommendation.
So that's really interesting. I mean, it's a completely different motivation and framework for delivering higher education.
Yes, and a way to have thousands of people from all corners of the world participate in a class and bring that level of diversity. Stanford said, how else can we get those kinds of diverse numbers?
Right. Amazing. Now, you mentioned earlier, too, this idea that I might actually go take the course and do really well in the course, and I don't pay a thing for it. But then at the end of the course, if I decide, wow, I really love that course, and gosh, I got an A in it, then I could actually go purchase those credit hours as a part of a degree program.
That's right. You could actually make that course part of your permanent record if you wanted to pay for it at the end. That brings up a really important point, Randy, and it's what is the business model for this? We talk about universities are right now offering some of these courses for free. And, when I heard the story, I thought, whoa, that's evolutionary, because you've got these leaders of universities saying, we're just going to test stuff right now. We're in the prototyping phase. So this idea of being this open-minded
is crazy.
It's blowing my mind.
Madness.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And not only is the channel for delivering the course changing, the courses themselves are changing. They're becoming much more interdisciplinary, much more connected to some of the real world challenges that people are facing in the development of business intelligence and computational paradigms and things like that. So we're seeing a lot more kind of blurring of the academic genres than we ever saw before, particularly in graduate schools.
Well, I think two things are happening. One is that we are seeing that the blurring of those lines and bringing in experts from maybe more business arenas or non-traditional academic arenas. But in addition to that, you're seeing a change in the quality of face time for courses because there's an automation now that's happening for a lot of the things that took up professors' time around assessment or just even, I'd love for you to tell the story of a class you just taught at Ole Miss for the MBA program and what you experienced with just checking facts and plagiary and all of that.
Right. So I'm down teaching at the Ole Miss MBA program. I go down there on their shoulder sessions and teach intensive classes. This was an intensive leadership class. Had 50 students. And the first week, of course, these are young people, and they want to do everything they would expect to get their syllabus and whatnot online. And so I'm emailing things. And now all of a sudden I've got 50 students turning in stuff to me over email, and it was a complete disaster. I had folders, it was people in my junk mail. It was just awful. So then, one of the great people at Ole Miss said, well, you should try Blackboard. Blackboard is this teaching tool that's there, and I went to it, and by gosh, it was the most amazing thing. I could email all of my students. They could turn in papers to me into a neat little folder. It all came into one spot. And when they turned it in, the system actually automatically checks for plagiarism when it goes in. And if there was a problem, it would send up a red flag and say, hey, this is an issue. Amazing. I can grade it right online, and they can see their grades and not other people's grades. It was just the most amazing system. Totally changed the way I will teach moving forward. And
wow.
It did change my relationships with the students. I went from being bitter and frustrated the first week to the second week going, hey, why don't we meet for coffee?
Big takeaway here then is this move from the synchronous world to the asynchronous world. This is it now.
Yeah.
I mean,
we
have to face this.
Yeah, and it means that our kids are going to be educated in ways that we never dreamed of. And what we really want to do is begin creating an appetite, not just in our children, but in everybody in every organization, to say there is no longer any excuse for you to stop learning. You need to be engaged and continuing to learn. We need new skills for the 21st century. We need new understandings. And so I love this idea that universities are kicking the doors open and really saying, hey, let's all roll up our sleeves and get smart together.
I like it. I'm excited.
Let's go sign up for
sign up for something right now.
I want to sign up for an MIT class that, advanced calculus for geniuses or something.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Then I'll feel stupid.
I would like to see you do that
too. Well, maybe not. But this is very interesting. We would certainly love to hear. If you've had an online university experience that you liked or hated, we would love to hear about that. And feel free to connect with us right here.
Yes, at evolutionariesbook.com.
Evolutionariesbook.com, the favorite website of all time.
Woohoo!
All right, thanks very much. We're going to see you next time on Ask the Authors.